Hello, my fellow nerds, and thanks again for watching another episode of Nerd Boy Gaming. I am Nerdboy81. Well, it's the end of February, which means it's time for the State of the Ark February edition. Going into the end of January, coming into February, I was really hopeful that when we did our State of Ark for February, that we would have some real exciting news to share, that the game was going to be pushing into a real positive place. The center was going to be out. Scorched Earth was around the corner. Server transfers were going to be there. The Xbox save issue would have been fixed. Maybe even some optimizations on the game. There was a lot of optimism with some trepidation coming into February. However, as Wildcard does, they fumbled the ball yet again. And now here we are at the end of February with, in my opinion, a bad situation for Ark Survival Ascended. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Ark is dying or that it's dead. All I'm going to say is that Ark is treading in a bad direction. And unfortunately, it is all at the hands of the developer and the publisher. Let's dive in and talk a little bit about the frustration behind what's happening with Ark Survival Ascended. And we're going to start with the center update. So back, I think it was December, they put out a roadmap. The roadmap said Scorched Earth was coming in March, and in May, we were going to get the center. But player numbers started to dip in January, and there was a real feeling in the community that in order for Ark Survival Ascended to regain its popularity, it needed more content. The reality is that Ark Survival Ascended, the island, was not going to pull the players in or keep the players playing. Many veterans got bored of the island quickly. While the graphics were nice and the quality of life improvements for console and crossplay and mods and those types of things were very nice for the console community, the veteran PC-based community just had a bad experience with ASA. From poorly optimized game, a game that requires high-end graphic components and to really run and get high-end graphics. A lot of people were left feeling just that the game didn't have the quality, didn't have the polish. It was a kind of a stepping back in time to 2015 when the game first launched. A lot of bugs, a lot of issues, a lot of challenges, and it was the same game that we already experienced all of this with back in 2015. Now, I am new to this community, and so this frustrates me so much because so much of what has caused the negativity around this game could all be remediated. It all could have just not happened. Or Wildcard decides to say, "Hey, we're gonna bring the center out in February because we know you guys are jonesing for content. We know that we need to get some stuff in your hands. We know that the roadmap looks like it's going to take a long time to get a lot of these maps out. And so while we work on Scorched Earth, which is going to drop in March, here is the center." A week before the game is supposed to drop, so end of February, the center is supposed to drop, and a week before that time comes, the last Friday, the community crunch comes out and says, sorry, the game is not up to our standards, which must mean the game really is poor because we know that their standards are not that high right now, and that this game can't be launched in February, and at this point has no true launch date. And what frustrates me, what really, really frustrates me here is that this is all at their doing. They never had to announce that they were bringing the center out. There was no expectation from the community for the center to come out in February. In fact, the only expectation that the community had at this point was that you were working on server transfers and that you were going to do Scorched Earth in March. You could have internally as a team said, okay, guys, we need to get some content to these guys. Let's focus on trying to get the center done. Let's not announce anything, but let's have a goal of the center at end of February. Without announcing it, you could have done that. And then when you missed your project milestones, as you should have been having along the way, every week checking in, saying, okay, where is the project? Is the project nearing its completion? When you miss those milestones, you push back your end date, but the community is none the wiser. It boggles my mind that you would promise the center in February and then miss it so completely bad. It doesn't make any sense to me. It did not need to be announced that you were going to bring the center early out of the roadmap. The roadmap had it in May. Leave it in May, but work on it and try to get it out early. And if you get it early, give yourselves, for the love of Pete, give yourselves a 2-week window. So you say, okay, it looks like the game is ready. I think we can drop it. Let's announce it in 2 weeks. You already have a playable version, a game that's passing certifications, and you're ready to go. In 2 weeks from now, we're going to drop this version of it, and lo and behold, the community is surprised. And you hit your deadlines, and you hit your goals, and you create a positive vibe around the community and what you're doing. It just absolutely baffles my mind that a company that's been doing this for a long time would make such big missteps with their things on release dates and what they're doing. Look, Hello Games has been doing this for a long time, and they do it really, really well. And this is why I bring them up. And in Wildcard, look at what your others or other gaming publisher companies are doing. Hello Games have little things happening in the internal branch on Steam, and people in the Twitter community, oh, something's going on. But what ends up happening is Sean Murray will tweet out a single emoji, and then within typically 48, 72 hours, we get a trailer and the update. Typically. Sometimes it's not exact date, but there's never a, this is coming on this day, and be prepared for it. Because you don't need to do that. Now, you could, because I know you guys like to communicate or try to communicate, you could give yourselves a buffer and say in 7 days or 14 days, this update is going to come, and therefore you don't have any chance of missing your own deadlines. It baffles my mind. And so because of this big miss, and there are a few other things going on which we'll talk about, but because of this big miss with the center, the general consensus in the community and the people we talk to is one of frustration. Guys like Raz Clark, who is generally very positive about the game, made a video of just pure frustration. As a content creator, we are trying to put out content for your game that helps market your game and helps us, some of us rely on it. Not me personally, because I'm a tiny channel, but some people rely on this content, and they make plans and they work hard to put those plans in motion only to have them shut down a week before the drop. It's just really, really frustrating just to see as a kind of an outsider in this community, somebody who's just barely scratched the surface of this game. Is so frustrating to see time and time and time again. You guys set it up only to miss your own deadlines. And it's truly sad because it's your deadlines. You're the one who's imposing them. Nobody else is. The only deadline you had to hit that was imposed by somebody else was when you gave up exclusivity to Nitrado, and therefore had to have that game out completely unready in October. And there was no doubt the game launched. It was not ready for consumption. There was a ton of issues early on. Wildcard has worked pretty hard to fix a lot of those issues. However, they've just bumbled along the way, making so many poor decisions in their own PR and project management process. It just, like I said, it boggles my mind. So right now, coming into the end of February, the community seems to be very broken, hurt, frustrated, disappointed. Yes, a lot of us still love the game, and we're still going to play the game, and we still are enjoying it. And yes, the Gigantoraptor was a nice touch. I mean, thanks for giving us something. And the art on it, it looks cool. It seems like it's a nice thing. Although, admittedly, I don't like that you have to load it as a mod. I actually haven't liked that about the events either. When you played ASE, these things just happen. The last dino they added in ASE was the Reganthus, whatever, the dragonfly looking dude. He just showed up in the island one day when I was playing. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't have to do anything. It just happened. It's a little bit of frustration that you have to do mods for the events and mods for this added dino, but that's hardly the issue at heart here. It's the constant failure to achieve your own deadlines that you are setting yourself. It's just, it's rough. It's rough as a community. It's rough as a content creator. It's just rough essentially for the fan base. That is one thing that is driving the negativity right now across Ark. Snail Games financially, Their stock has been down. Things haven't been looking real great for them. Nitrado just recently stopped supporting the Spanish market. Just their partner program. That's just another small nail in the coffin. I'm not going to sit here and say that the center not dropping on time is the final nail in the coffin. I'm just saying it is so frustrating because you set those expectations. Nobody else did. And by the way, don't think it didn't go unnoticed that all of a sudden you're now saying April 1 for Scorched Earth. The roadmap specifically stated March. Then it was supposed to be the center, May 2024. And then in July, it was going to be Ark Aberration. Now, if you want to bring Ark Aberration early, don't say anything to anyone. Just quietly do it. Work on it. See if you can get it there. Because right now, we're looking at April 1 now for Scorched Earth, which again, could, if I were to do a poll, I'm sure to the community, feel free to tell me below, do you have faith that Scorched Earth is going to drop on their date they gave, April 1st? It's going to be the biggest April Fool's joke of all. Maybe that'll be the joke. It actually happens. I doubt it, but you're probably looking at sometime in the first week to 10 days of April before Scorched Earth happens. So again, you said March, and now you're already saying April. You told us the center was going to be May. We were fine with that. And then you said February, and now you're back probably to May. Just, it is frustrating. Follow your roadmap. Work towards getting your games done. If you can get them early, just don't say anything until you have them completed. So there are a few positive things happening in the Ark community. The Gigantoraptor, as I mentioned, it looks like it's a fun creature. I haven't had a chance to play with it, but it looks like it's fun. The trailer on it was cute. It seems like it's going to be a nice addition. They gave it to us for the island, even though it wasn't supposed to happen until the center, or I think it was even supposed to be on another map at some point. But either way, that's there. It's available for you to download as a mod. The events have been nice. The community still loves this game. They still want good things. This is a long, dark tunnel, but there is a small light at the end of it. And that is all of this content that's coming. All of these maps that are supposed to be here. Now, as along the way, it would be really nice if you could optimize your game, make it continue to run better, continue to fix things like the Xbox save issue that's happening. I did not see that in your last patch notes on Monday. Fix some of those things. Get the content out. Let the modders do what they're doing. Support the game. I think there's a future, but there's just so many missteps along the way. It really is frustrating. So right now, for the State of the Union for February, I'd have to say it's not in a very good space coming out of the end of February. What we were hoping would be such a positive time really has changed. Now, I really wish, when Wildcard and Snail Games decided to make ASA a Unreal Engine 5 game, that instead of trying to make the island as our first map, I wish they would have just given us a new map. It would have had much better staying power. You could have just put out a first map, and we probably would have been a little bit more forgiving to the bugs, even the ones that were there before. The bugs, the challenges, the glitches, the poor optimization, because it would have been new content. It would have been a new map. It would have been new. The community would have had a little more staying power. And then those first few months while we were enjoying this new map, might have been nice then to get, Island, the center, and Scorched Earth as a bundle ready to drop just about the time the staying power ends, until you can get to your surprises that are supposedly coming this year, or the other content that may be coming down the road. So there's still a lot to come. There's still a lot of good things in the future, as long as Wildcard can maybe just fix some of its PR, fix some of its project management, and just stay focused on providing content on a timeline and stop missing their own dates. It just boggles my mind. But guys, I would love to hear from you. You leave below. Tell me what you think is working, what's not working, where you feel the game is at. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here in the game, say the game is dying, that this was some kind of final nail in the coffin. It's just looking at the player counts, they're down. And I mean for ASA, it's down. You've got more people playing your last generation game, your ASE, than you do ASA. And that's even crazier considering you stopped supporting the official servers. There's other games that have come out that have really garnered attention in the community. Things like Pal World, Enshrouded, Nightingale, Helldiver, or whatever. There's a handful of games that are better and running better. I mean, Pal World isn't built, it doesn't have these top end graphics. It's a tiny team. It just made a good game that was fun to play, and people have shown, gamers have given it what it deserved by showing up and playing it. And Ark could be that. ASA could be that. It just needed more time before it launched, and honestly, it just needs you guys to stop making bad promises that you can't achieve. But guys, that's my rant for my State of the Union for my February edition. I'm sorry to say it, but Ark is not in the best place. In fact, I think it's in a worse condition than it was in January. I think it needs some content to come. I think Scorched Earth could really help bring a few people, could, maybe bring some back. The reality is I think up until maybe that Survival Ascended surprise in 2024, maybe something new in November, I just don't think the player base is going to return for a map that's been out for a long time. That's just my assumption. We'll see what happens. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're new here and you haven't done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel. I do plan to continue to do the State of the Union for Ark every month. Towards the end of the month, I'll do a video on what's gone on in the month, where we're going, what's happening, how things are changing. I will try to put out more content around my first time playing Scorched Earth. I was hoping to be starting the center for the first time, but that's going to be delayed, obviously. And I do have other content I'll be adding in as well. So thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And of course, leave a thumbs up if you like this video. And tell me below, what do you guys think is going on with Ark? Are we in trouble here, or is there a potential future where this game can actually thrive again like ASE? We love the game. We want it to be good. We just really need Wildcard to kind of figure out how to properly communicate and manage a project. So, guys, until next time, have a wonderful day.